Pat Robertson spoke to an author and an extremist by the name of Joel Rosenberg on his show, and he proceeded to compare the United States to Nazi Germany.
The question raises for us today, just as an example, 55 million children have been murdered by abortion in our country.
That's right.
We're getting close to 60 million in the next year or two. That would be, if we get to 60 million, we will have killed 10 times more Americans than the Nazis killed of the Jews. Now, we know the judgment that came on Nazi Germany, and we feel like it was, correct, it was just. What do we think is going to happen?
I wonder if the media is going to call on that guy to apologize. I guarantee you, if there was a left-winger that compared the United States to Nazi Germany, the media would immediately denounce them and call on them to apologize and say that they're extremists and they're not serious people and they're jokes and how dare they besmirch the legacy of the great United States of America. I mean, think about it, seriously. If somebody said, hey, man, the invasion of Iraq was a violation of international law, you know what else was a violation of international law? What Hitler did. Or if somebody brought up, rightly I should mention, that the U.S. killed 100,000 innocent civilians in Iraq, at least, and somebody could compare that to Nazi Germany, and what would happen? Fox News, they would just wall-to-wall coverage, 24 hours a day. You think CNN's missing plane coverage is a lot? Forget it. If you look at Fox News when something like that happens, it would be endless coverage. His face would turn tomato red and he would scream. But no, this guy, I'm sure he's not going to have to apologize, and I'm sure nobody's going to make a big fuss over it when he should fucking apologize. Joel Rosenberg, you should apologize for what you just said. Because not only is it offensive and ridiculous, it is totally wrong. And I'm about to prove it to you right now. So, he's just flat out comparing abortion to murder. He's comparing abortion in the U.S. to the Holocaust in Nazi Germany. Well, according to the Guttmacher Institute, which studies the issue of abortion and other reproductive issues, 89% of abortions in the U.S. occur before 12 weeks. Now, what does that mean? Because this is very important here, and this is the crux of the disagreement and the reason why he's such a silly human being. That means that you are dealing with, in 89% of the cases, you are dealing with gametes and zygotes and embryos and pre-gestation fetuses, okay? What he needs to understand is that a gamete is a gamete. It's not a human. A zygote is a zygote. It's not a human. An embryo is an embryo. It's not a human. A pre-gestation fetus is called a pre-gestation fetus and not a human being for a reason. For good, solid, scientific, factual reasons. But no, he brushes that under the rug and acts like the second you're done having sex, if you take the morning after pill, you might as well have put an AR-15 to somebody's temple and pulled the trigger. It's terrible is what it is. Now, furthermore, 98% of all abortions that happen in the U.S. happen before 21 weeks. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that 98% of all abortions in the U.S. occur before the nervous system is developed in the fetus, which means that it is impossible for those abortions to have any pain associated with them. Does murder have pain associated with it? Did the people who were shoved in the gas chamber, was there pain there? I think there was. Don't you think you're kind of trivializing what they went through? You're lowering what they went through by making such an absurd analogy and comparison. And I should also mention the other 2% that happen after 21 weeks in the U.S., the abortions that happen, the late-term abortions, so to speak. They only happen in cases of incest, rape, when the life of the mother is in danger, or when there is a fatal fetal defect. So, those 50 million, or he was saying 60 million examples of murder or genocide that happens in the U.S. and comparing it to Nazi Germany. It's not murder. It's not genocide. It's not like what happened to the Jews and the Gypsies and everybody else in Nazi Germany. And no, the President of the United States is not like Adolf Hitler. And, the government is not like the Gestapo. I mean, I can go on and on here. It's a pathetic, silly, ridiculous, irrational, incorrect, grotesque, offensive thing to say.